Hello and welcome to everyone today for today's CAS 360 Education Week, the third installment for this week. My name is Peter DeStefano and I am one of the account managers here at BGL Corporate Solutions. Today's topic will be practice managers and digital signing in CAS 360, two of the key integrations that are part of the BGL suite. A couple of housekeeping items to begin with. Firstly, the Q&A window will be available to you to ask any questions during today's webinar. Today I have alongside me from our training and documentation team, Chris, Andre, and Daniel, who will answer any and all of your questions. For all the registrants and attendees, there will be a recorded email of today's session sent to you, as well as a copy added to our BGL YouTube channel for you to access at your own perusal and time. So as we've covered thus far, yesterday we did document and email templates and company registrations and name reservations. As you can see, we have several other CAS 360 topics to cover for the remainder of the week, and I strongly encourage you to register to those sessions to further enhance your knowledge. We have also conducted Education Week webinars for our other products. If you didn't get an opportunity in the last couple of weeks to access these, you can go to our website and select the Education Week page to get a copy of these webinars. You can also get these accessed via the YouTube channel, and you can also get in touch with your account manager if you cannot locate these. Now, heading to and discussing today's session with regards to integration providers. So if you are not aware, BGL integrates with many vendors. So with digital signing, we have three integration providers. We have Adobe Sign, DocuSign, and FuseSign. I would encourage you to get in touch with those providers if you're not already using them to find out the most appropriate subscription for yourselves. In terms of the setup, I will be going through this today. But in terms of the subscription, you can also get in touch with your account manager with regards to that. From the practice management side, we also have three providers. There's APS Contacts Plus, My Practice Manager, which may have also been known in the past as GreatSoft, and Zero Practice Manager. So let's dive right in. So I'm going to begin today discussing the digital signing portion. What I'll do is show you how to set that up. So initially what you can do is you enter your CAS 360 subscription. In the top right hand corner, we have this icon with 9 dots that looks like the Channel 9 logo. When we select it, we can click the integrations module or portal, which will open up. From here, what we can do is select the digital signing tab up the top. And from there, we can see that we have the different providers available. Now, to set up your digital signing, you simply click the gear up the top, which will then redirect you to this page where we can connect to DocuSign in this particular scenario. You would click the Connect to DocuSign button, click Yes for the prerequisite, and this will push you through to a page to authenticate using your subscription and login details, your digital signing provider. Once that's completed, your digital signing will then be available to use. So what that will look like is you'll have the provider, the active button will appear, and the toggle will be turned on to default to indicate that you've successfully integrated your digital signing provider. Now, how do we use the digital signing once we've got it set up? Well, in this very simple case, I'm going to select this first company, AAA Proprietary Limited. I select the company, and I'm just going to do a simple Form 484 change. I go to the shareholder screen. I'm going to make the change. So I'm just going to do an allotment to myself. So I've now made that change, and it's ready to print and prepare the forms. Once you've done that, you can access the document production screen, and what you can see here are a couple of different things. The first thing is these pen icons on the right-hand side. If they are in green or highlighted, this means that the digital signing has been turned on. If I want to turn off the digital signing for that particular document, I simply click on the button and it turns it to this gray opaque color. For the purposes of this, I'm going to leave the signing pen on so I can show you the digital signing for these documents. If you have multiple providers set up, you can click the electronic signing options, and up the top here, you can actually change between providers or turn it off completely. So now I'm going to send these documents through to myself and show you what the signing looks like from the client perspective. So I'll just give that a moment to send through. So the document has now been successfully sent. So I'll wait for that to enter my email. So the documents have successfully come in, and now I can review the documents. So I select review documents. So this process here is very similar for all providers. I simply select review documents and follow the prompts. So to start the process, I click the start button. It'll redirect me to the signing field. I simply click on the signing field, apply my name, and then click to sign. At this point, the client can email or download a signed copy for themselves for record keeping purposes. Once the document has been signed, it will come then back into CAS 360, and you'll be notified via the notifications bell up the top. As you can see, the document has been successfully signed. If this document only requires the one signature for this Form 484, it would then be ready to lodge. And that is as quick and easy as the digital signing process undertakes and goes. Now for practice management. In order to set this up, you first would need to go into the integrations tab, as I mentioned. So I'll just click the app switcher again up the top right, go to integrations. In this case, we don't select digital sign, we go to practice management settings, and you'll be encountered by this screen. Now to set this up, depending on what provider you're using, you'd simply connect your BGL products and Zero Practice Manager and start the initial sync. Now the sync can take up to 2 hours time, so this would be something that you'd leave occurring in the background whilst you do something else. then you'll get a notification to let you know that the sync's been completed. Once the sync is completed, you'll see that everything has come up as active, and you'll see these two toggles down the bottom. Now, when you're first setting up your integration, you'll want to turn these toggles off, as you'll want to probably clean up your database, and I'll show you what that will look like. Once the database has been cleared of any validation errors and the database has all been synchronized, you can then choose how you want your practice management to look. So you can have it go one way from 0 to BGL, which is probably the most common. You can have it go from BGL to 0, or your practice manager, or you can have it go both ways. It's entirely up to you. Once that's been set up, we can go into the client and contact list where all the data has been transferred. And this is the interface you're confronted with. So on the left-hand side here, we have a series of statuses. There's 5 in all. The first status is linked. What that will mean for you is that when you click a particular contact, that all the fields have matched, which is what we're looking for. The second status is not linked, which naturally, as you can see by the right-hand side, is a contact or a client from only one of the products. So whether that be BGL or whether that be your practice management solution. Ideally, what you want is to have everything in linked and not linked, as there shouldn't be any discrepancies. Do not be alarmed by a large number in your not linked, as there is a high proportion of your clients that are going to be in your practice management solution that won't be linked or registered in any way to your BGL account or subscription. Now, the last 3 statuses are the most interesting ones. So we have review data. Review data will indicate to you that it's got a high percentage match. So for instance, if we click Frank Williams, what you'll see here is that most of the fields have matched up, and we've got just this address change that needs to occur. So to make this change, all you need to do is select the drop down and then select which of the contacts is correct. So if the CAS contact is correct, then you simply click the CAS selection and it will update the 0 information, and vice versa for 0. If for any reason you want to ignore it, you can simply click ignore, and then it will change the status from review data to linked. In this particular case, I want to make it that CAS 360 is correct. So I simply click CAS and then I save it. And as you can see now, both physical addresses have changed from 1 Old Street, Melbourne, and now that has been pushed over to 0 as well. Moving further down the page, we have review duplicate. As it suggests, any contact information that has any form of duplication in the data will come up in the screen. So what we can see here is the type. So if I click up the top here, I can see the second contact, which has the same company number. So if for whatever reason these contacts are actually not linked for any particular reason, you can actually unlink these. To unlink a contact, you simply click the 3 dots up the top with the gray circle, and you can unlink these. The final status is suggested match, which will indicate that some of the data has matched, but the majority has not. So this process at the beginning will take a little bit of time to synchronize all your data, but once it is synchronized, thereafter, every change that you do make should work seamlessly. The last couple of filters down the left-hand side are for the products. If you want to filter by product, so whether that's by CAS or the other BGL products, Simple Fund 360 and Simple Invest 360, and finally with your practice manager, in this case Xero. You can also filter by business structure. You can filter by when you last made a change. And finally, you can filter by only showing BGL contacts without relationships, show hidden clients and contacts, which is one that clients really like, and finally clients and contacts with pending changes. So I've gone through and shown you how to make a change to a client that's had a limited change, but how do we change a client that's already fully linked? Maybe they've had a change of address, but we don't want to make that change twice. So in this case, I will go to CAS 360 and select contacts, and we'll type in Oliver. And we'll change his residential address. So as we can see, I've made an address change for Oliver Burrows. So when I go back into the BGL integration screen, I can select Oliver Burrows. Now the sync can take anywhere up to a minute for it to flow through. So we might just give it a moment to see if it came through. There we go. And it's made the change in CAS and in Xero Practice Manager. So that will save you a lot of time. It will eliminate double handling the changing of addresses. It will also allow you, if you've got multiple BGL products, not to have to make that change across Simple Fund and Simple Invest as well. So essentially you can make one change that will flow through to your other 1, 2, or 3 products. Some of the other types of changes. So as I touched on before on how to unlink, for this particular client contact, as we can see, it's review duplicate. There are many contacts that are associated due to the company number coming up. So as we can see, the name of each company is very different. So to unlink these and separate them or segregate them from each other, to unlink them is very simple. As I mentioned, we click the 3 dots, we click unlink, we select unlink, and then what we can do is we can actually go back and search for that company in the not linked. Conversely, we can also link clients. So again, if I go to the not linked and I type in Green Mango Trust, we can see that we have 2 of the same client and entity appear. So we may want to link these. So by selecting both those entities, I can then select actions up the top and match these clients. So now that I've actually linked them, I can then select them and I can make the necessary change to the address to link them fully. And now I've successfully linked that contact. The final type of synchronization that you can do between your practice management and your BGL subscription is the capacity to be able to push a particular client or contact into the other system. So what we have here is an unlinked contact. I have my name, my address, but I don't have it linked to my practice management solution. In order to do this, I simply click the three dots and I can add myself as a client or contact into the corresponding systems. In this case, I'm going to do it with 0, so I'll add myself as a client. And now I have created a 0 client contact in the system. So that is practice management in a nutshell. They are the changes and the statuses that you should be looking to, first of all, obviously integrate and then harness some time towards getting everything interlinked and not linked. It will be a slow build up to sync all your data together as it's very manual. But once it is, you can see how quickly the data flows through between your practice management solution and your BGL solution. So that's it for today's session. I'd like to thank everyone for their time. We will be staying around for a few questions, so please feel free to put those through the Q&A, and the boys and I will attempt to answer them for the next few minutes. Thank you for your time.